My name is Saskia and I'm the founder of Solo Brand. I am a marketing professional, online entrepreneur, and media designer. In this first video, you're going to learn a few things about writing content for different platforms and how to make the content production easy for you. Today, I'm going to talk with Nisha Harichandran. She's the founder of Bohem Notes. She is a business storyteller, caption and content writer, and she lives in Cardiff, UK, and is originally from Malaysia. She's a great person for you if you need help to put your voice out there. Nisha, welcome to my very first show on Solo Brand.
Hi, Saskia. Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
It's a starting point, and on your blog, I read that you do soul searching, and I was very interested in what that means for you and how did you come to create a travel blog and then go to Bohem Notes? How does that link together?
So, soul searching was a lot about discovering yourself, knowing who you are, what you like, your preferences, and truly just understanding your purpose and the real you, so to speak. Many times before making a decision, I tend to flip a coin, or used to at least. But I realized before the coin flipped or turned to the side, within me, I knew what answer I wanted. And after reading more about mindfulness and other things and journaling, I took it upon me quite seriously to just take time and get to know myself, understand me better. And the best place to start is within. You can read so much, but within you, there's just so much of wisdom. I cannot stress enough. And each of us are born with a story to tell and with a soul mission. Bohemian Crossing started off as my safe space to explore writing because that's something I've always enjoyed. And Saskia, I'm not sure if you know this, but I actually trained as a lawyer and I was practicing law for quite a few years. But whenever somebody quizzed me, what's your dream job? I'll go like, oh, I want to be a writer. So that instantly just comes out. And for the longest time, I wasn't sure if it was just an idea in my head, whether I actually enjoyed writing or whether people loved what they read. So Bohemian Crossing was born from there. And because I love to travel, the world is our home. That was something that I started with and then branched out to reflections, sharing my thoughts, and even poetry now. So Bohemian Crossing was really my safe space, and just kind of receiving all that feedback from people encouraged me to do more, to write more. And I moved to Cardiff earlier this year, and it gave me a fresh start to start this soul mission and just live my truest purpose. So, with that, I launched Bohem Notes in September. I realized that there were many stories that were not mentioned, not said, or shared due to endless list, to-do lists, your daily chores, doubt, fear, and eventually the stories got forgotten. So with Bohem Notes, I hope to provide a platform where I can listen and write these stories for people, for them to share it with the world. So that's how Bohemian Crossing the vlog and Bohem Notes as a soul mission.
That's very interesting. It's what I like about your story, and I probably have to say that we met in a Facebook group for entrepreneurs.
That's right.
And this is a thing that I'm always coming across with, as I'm working in marketing, and I helped several business to start their business in the very beginning, and it's always the question like, how do I start that? And I think the story of you is a kind of a good way to show that you have to start with a little thing that you like, and then don't be afraid to put yourself out there because like you first started the blog and then you did a lot of writing with the travel stories and the poems, and it did develop into your business, right?
Yes.
So this is something like don't be afraid to get started, to put yourself out there. I think it's a very important message.
Don't be afraid to shine, and don't doubt yourself. There are many doubts, fears, or that feeling of just being overwhelmed when you see the vast amount of information out there. You can really just drown in it because there's so much you don't know where to start. And that's why I say come back within. Know yourself first, because that's something, I'm 40 years old. So over the years, I've gotten to know myself better with each decade. And my preferences, it changed from when I was a teenager to my 20s to 30s. So you kind of move differently. Nobody can teach you that out there. Only you can truly answer that for yourself. So start with yourself, because that's really one sure thing you already know. And with that, move into areas that you're comfortable with. So start with like a safe space as well, like a blog. You can even make it private, so only you read it, or share it with a close friend, a trusted advisor. So you get feedback as well from somebody else. So yeah, start small and grow. That's something I would like to share with everyone.
Yeah, actually, that's what I like with you, Nisha, and what attracted me. Because it is a very personal thing. The writing process, right? And I know for entrepreneurs it's even more difficult to put themselves out there, because nowadays marketing works like this, like kind of naturally. You can't, if you are on social media, you can't pretend something else that you are not. And so it's more important to find what is your inner thrive, what is your purpose, and I think writing helps a lot with it. So, from what was the impulse you had from going to travel blog and then to make the decision to move to content writer?
So travel was one way where I got to know myself even more better, because each place, each country, the experiences, the people you meet across your travels, you just hear all these beautiful stories. And gradually, it also changes you. A lot of it kind of you adapt some of it as well, and it becomes a part of you, and you take it wherever you go. And personally, for me, that was also my transformation, like a growth journey. So it wasn't just I was visiting a country, enjoying the photographs and writing about it, but it kind of transformed perspectives, ideas, certain theories that you kind of just took it for granted. It shaped a lot of my views, and it didn't just become a travel story. As I wrote them, I realized it was my growth journey or my flight path. Hence, Bohemian Crossing, I've called it as my journey from a curious little caterpillar to a butterfly, because each day we are growing, and you adapt and you embrace that growth, and you empower yourself with it, and that leads to you having and maintaining a happiness lifestyle. So when I started Bohem Notes, I kind of just took all these learnings and said, okay, this is now how I want to take the business further and help people with content. So, content is also a variety of content that one can create, whether it is for a travel company, a travel business, or home bakery business, anything. Content is quite vast that way. But all of these learnings have kind of guided me to this.
That's a very. I love these stories. Like going out to travel, being on the road, and finding your purpose. Like it's really. I like that story very much. It resonates with me.
You don't know this, Gradually, when you sit down and think about it later, you're like, oh, wow, this is kind of why I kind of encountered this experience or met this person. And Bohemian Crossing is about the journey, meeting people, what they taught me, and how that has translated. So that's how I've kind of narrated the stories as well. It's all inspired by events and people.
So, if somebody starts a business and they want naturally, they want to write, they need to write the website, or they have to put content out there to represent themselves and finding their way through. Um, in the first place, I think there is the question, how do you decide between finding someone who writes the content for you or writing it yourself? How would you make the decision?
So for me, I knew I could write. The question then was the designing part of things, the graphic design. But when it comes to somebody who is looking for a writer or looking for anything, let me say, so I've got this little worksheet, which I call a soul searching worksheet, that you sit down, take 5 minutes of your day, or 5 minutes at a time, or break it down into 5 parts. So I've called this flow in five. So in your busy schedule, you can allocate a little bit of time, make it manageable, digestible, and something actionable. So it's not overwhelming. You look at it with calm and you know, like, I've got this. You know, I can do this. You start off that approach on a positive, very uplifting note, and you're motivated that you want to do it. So I've got these. So worksheet one, soul searching worksheet, has got these 5 boxes for you to sit down and do a little bit of brainstorming. All of this is your preparation, the background work. And I would say take your time, do it whenever you want, revisit it as many times as you want, but just spend time on it because it's a great, great investment because it answers your purpose. What is it that you want to do? It answers your why, your vision, and your mission. Why do you want to do something? How do you want to do something? So it gives you ideas to think about your investment, any allocation of funds or things that you need to purchase, idea of time when you go into when. And if you're doing a job and this is your side hustle or a creative project that you want to test, and an idea on the channels that you want to explore as well. Do you want to do it through a social media, or do you want to straight away launch into your website? So it's just digging deep, answering those fundamentals, your what, where, who, when, and why. And this, I really cannot stress enough. So I will wholeheartedly encourage all of you to just sit down, just break it down, just break it down. Take 5 minutes, even if it takes 5 minutes to do one box or 5 points, just chunk it down. And why I say five, because it gives you, a nice, comfortable number to play with. It's not drastic. It's not 50 things as to reasons why you want to do it. It's not just one reason. So if you strike out that reason or change your mind, you don't have any other reason why to do it. So five felt like a comfortable number to just groove with the idea.
Yeah, that sounds like an easy process, your flow in five. And also, I think in addition, it's not only like you sit there and it's how do I create a piece of content, but it actually gives you the whole picture. It's like, what is the purpose? What do you want to say? It gives you a structured approach because I think the overwhelming feeling at the beginning is where do I start? How do I do that if you never have done it before? So I think it gives you a good blueprint.
Exactly. And it's also then what all do I want to achieve? And by answering these fundamentals, you also know where you have your strength and where you need to build your muscle power. So for me, the graphic design part was where I needed to build a little bit more muscle power. I did do some learnings on my own, but they looked a little bit like school kindergarten work, I would say. And I needed a professional to kind of help me get my brand out there. So I knew this is something I needed to outsource or I could delegate it to somebody else. And I knew which were my core strengths, areas that I could pick up, and stuff that maybe I was sort of average, and but I had an interest in it and I wanted to learn more and do it on my own. So this worksheet kind of really helped me.
That's very interesting, like that you really sort it out to reflect on it. What can you do yourself? Where are you good at? I think that's honest evaluation. I think becoming an entrepreneur is not like just setting up a business and making money. It's so much more to it. It's like you have to build new skills, and you have to evaluate what do you want and what are you good at, and you have to be really honest with yourself.
Absolutely, Saskia. And also an independent business, you wear all these hats. You are the chief executive officer, chief marketing officer, chief happiness officer, operations, health and safety, everything. So there's quite a bit of juggling going on. I mean, I started as a one woman business. So these were all these little hats, and you had to kind of say, okay, each needs a focus, each needs a space. And this was a nice way to kind of introduce the different characters and what they needed in order to have a sustainable, comfortable, and a healthy business lifestyle, both personally and professionally.
Yes, I will definitely add the link to the Flow in 5 below the video. So check this out later. And the thing is like now you say if you can't do it, you would outsource it. And what does it make to find someone who can be an editor for you? What criteria would you look at?
So I've got if you an editor for me as an editor for my work.
If, for example, there is someone who wants to start a business and has to make the decision, do I write myself or do I hire someone? Like you made the decision, do I do the graphic myself or do I hire someone? And
So you can check their experience, you can check any credentials that they have, previous work, any references. This is with somebody who has already got an established practice. So they have all these reference and client testimonials to share with you. What about someone like me? I was in a corporate career. I decided to switch gears, switch cars, and start out fresh. I do not have any references to share. My blog was my profile. So that was my platform to share with people in terms of my words, my style of writing. And of course, when you write commercial corporate copies, your tone is very different. So it's also then knowing what your tone of voice is going to be, what kind of styles you want to write. But all I can say, guys, is that don't worry. Don't let that stop you from picking the pen or tapping on your laptop and writing. If you decide to write, start writing. Because, like me, I spent many years dreaming about the idea of writing, wanting to write, but never actually getting down to it. Find a safe space, do a blog. That's a really, really great way to do it. And there are many Facebook groups where you can even get feedback from other people as well. So, and that's a nice spot as well. Or you can join little writer groups. So I joined the Cardiff Writers Circle, and that gave me more confidence to explore other areas of writing. So that's how poetry started. Now I'm doing flash fiction. People listen to you, they give you different perspectives. And what I want to share is that look at every critique, every hurdle, every obstacle that you've encountered as a building block, as a lesson plan, because you definitely learned something throughout that journey. Nothing is wasted because yesterday is past. The future is, we've yet to discover. You still have this time to kind of discover the present. So, which is why with the worksheets, after worksheet one, which was the soul searching, I've got another worksheet called ideation. And that gives you different options again in terms of how to break down one thought into different components. So you look at, you want to start a business, okay, or you want to generate content for your social media. So what are the ideas that you have? Break them down again into 5. What is the inspiration behind something? Is it a personal story, something you read, something you encountered? Break that down again. into 5. So just do this step by step, and there'll be, before you know, there'll be more than enough content for you to play around with. So that's like the playing field. I like to call the ideation worksheet, because you just go down one by one, write down each thought, chunk it up, and then before you know, from no idea, you've gone on to many ideas. Can I share a little bit more about the flow in 5?
Yeah, of course, of course. I'm very curious about the program.
Yes, yes. So it's so you start with searching your soul. So that's like your discovery phase, knowing your fundamentals, what, where, who, when, and how. Then you move into your idea generation. So this is where you go wild and write down all your thoughts, your inspiration, your stories, what motivates you. Just go free with that. And what I can say is, after the ideation part, you look at it and you might go like, "Whoa, where do I start?" And
Mhm.
which is why I've got something like a prioritization matrix. So there are many matrices out there. I'm a visual person. A triangle was very simple way for me to understand what's important and what's kind of like routine administrative work. It just helps you prioritize. And I thought a triangle was kind of a simple way to understand. So when you look at your ideation worksheet, you come down to that, and then you can just chunk it up and decide what's important for you and what you need to do first. And of course, the later two parts is about caring. Coming back to your question earlier, how do you edit? And I've got two sheets for that. One is the self care for your work. So, checking your spelling, your choice of words. Are you repeating the same word often in
Mhm.
the same sentence? How long is your sentence?
Yeah, that's a
I think
classic,
the
I
average
think.
is like about 20 words or so. I mean,
Mhm.
you see legal writing and you have to find the full stop. It goes a whole paragraph writing with that. So, commercial or just general social media content copy is very different. So, yeah, just check the average length of your word, because everybody needs to understand it, what you're putting out there. Look at the tone of your voice. So these are the little things for you to just care for your work. And of course, not forgetting, you have to take care of your own well-being, your self-care, and your self-love. So the last worksheet is about your own self-care and nourishment. What are you grateful for this day, for this learning? What have you learned from this experience? Um, what are your achievements? You got to shout out your wins and celebrate every little win, because you must cheer yourself on, and you are your greatest cheerleader. So cheer yourself on, and then take 5 minutes and say, okay, what have I done today to even nurture myself? Did I have a wholesome meal? Did I go for exercise, time in nature, listen to some nice music, or an inspiring podcast? So it's sort of a start to end kind of a wholesome package, I would say, this kit, Flow in 5, to kind of just give you a pat on the shoulder and say, you got this and you can do this.
It's a really a round program, I would say. Like it's not only getting things done, but also checking on your purpose. Does this align with your idea? And then also like being grateful for it, and don't forget like when you build a business and like you spend hours doing things, and you're always like in a, have to get things done, and I have to do this and then that, like that's like my mind goes crazy with all these to-dos. And I think it's a great thing that you take this step back, be grateful for your achievements, and this is, I think, very important for entrepreneurs or those who want to build a business, that you acknowledge what you already have done and not only focus on what needs to be done next, right?
Yes, because every step, and it's not an immediate process, like opening a bank account, for example. I never knew how opening a bank account could be so satisfying at the end of the whole process when I actually got the cards in my hand, I was like jumping up and about and, saying, yes, I did this, I got it done. There was all these forms to be filled up, verification documents, visiting the bank a few times, answering questions. And it was a step by step process. And moving from a different country to the UK, there were additional documents which I needed to get before opening the account. So I felt like I was chasing my imaginary tail, going in a little loop. So having completed it was like, wow, this is like brilliant. So do not just cheer yourself on, keep your spirits pumped up and high because you did this.
Yeah, that's right. Like I like that totally, that you have it included in your program, because it's totally me. Like you just go on and the next and the next, and then you forget about yourself completely.
Yes, yes.
We
learn,
Saskia. Yes, all the time, all the time. Um, Let me think about, you said something else in the program. What I would find interesting is, so you have this flow in 5, there are several worksheets. Like how much time would you recommend like putting for that process?
I would say take as much time as you want, and the minimum time is 5 minutes, I would say. But maximum would be go to however much you want. But the idea is that you can break it down and do it in manageable pieces. So you can adjust, it's flexible to your schedule. You decide the time, you decide when you want to do it, how you want to do it, or which sheets you want to tackle first. Of course, they're kind of arranged in a sequence so that you can kind of do your soul searching first, getting to know yourself, and then your ideation, prioritization. But at times, maybe you're not in a mood to do certain things. You just want to check in today. That today was all about documenting my learnings, my gratitude, and my achievements. So work on that. Build it around your day, build it around yourself and what you want to do. But at minimum, spend at least 5 minutes on each box, or 5 minutes for the whole sheet if you're very quick with your pen. And
Yes, so
addition
it's
to five,
basically
just break each thought down into 5. Don't say I want to do a business. Yay. The story doesn't stop there. What kind of business do you want to do? What, who do you want to cater it for? What is the profile? Who is your target group? Just kind of break it down, little points. So the more you think about it, you narrow it down, and then you find that, group or community and profile that you're kind of looking at. So just chunk it down. That's the whole purpose of the worksheets. It's like a thinking pad, I would say.
so basically you could do it along with breakfast in 30 minutes, like
Do it
minutes
alone,
from
have a cup of tea. I got 5 minutes to do this. Let's say I want to record my wins, or let's go down, an idea has come up. I just want to break down the first thought. This is a story that's come up to me. What were the key characters or components or lessons, and just flow in that.
what I also want to get back to, you mentioned the Cardiff writing group. Is that correct? Right. So now, if you want to join or you happen to be around Cardiff, if you watch this video, you can check this writers group out.
Such a supportive network, and I cannot thank them enough for the feedback that they have given. Each of them, some of them are published writers, and they've given me such valuable pointers and such a safe space in order to share and to encourage me to take the next step. So I really sincere gratitude to them. They have a Facebook group. It's called Cardiff Writers Circle. I'll send that link across as well.
Oh yeah, I would like to add that too. I think also it gives an idea. What I find really always helpful is that you find kind of like-minded people, that you build up a network of or join groups to discuss things. So I'm very happy if I have some different forums where I can post a question or a problem and see what can I get back from this like groups. Like there is so much intelligence out there, and I think the main thing is to get connected with like-minded people.
Absolutely. You need to find your tribe as well. So that's an important thing as part of the journey.
I think I want to wrap it up now, and thank you for your introduction for the very first video we produce here together.
Thank you. Really, thank you so much for having me, and so excited. Been wanting to do this, and thank you. Really grateful and humble for being here today.
Yeah, just one last question I would like, and it doesn't have to be business related, your answer, so it's very open. If you would have one single best advice for life, what would that be?
You're a rock star. Just rock your concert. This is your life, your script, your story. Go out there and shine bright. There's only one of you, just one. Be yourself and speak and share your voice with everyone.
Well, that resonates with me. Very nice.
That's my personal mantra to myself. So just sharing it out there.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you again, Saskia.
And so
And
we
good
will,
luck to everybody out there. I hope you have found this helpful, and wishing you the very best on all your journeys.
you can find Nisha on Bohem Notes on Instagram and Facebook, and you definitely should check out her blog where it all began on bohemianscrossing.blog.